Part 2. So, AI and algorithms, to get back on topic. It's hard. There's so much interconnected stuff now compared to the old days. You know, it used to be like, well, if you got off topic like I am now, you're talking about like a buffet, some ice cream, in a place I used to go when I was young called King's Table, where you could just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. And then you go to the mall and you're like, like yelling at your mom, "Mom, let's get some new shoes and some hats and some." And mom's like, "You need to shut up and digest your food, you fat ass." She didn't call me fat ass. That's horrible, but I ate a lot of food at King's Table. I tell kids all the time, my nanny, for how freaking spectacular that place was in Arizona. It was in Mesa, Arizona at Fiesta Mall. And it's just meat and food everywhere. No vegan on earth would ever even walk by it. It was just so freaking like prehistorically Renaissance, and you know, it was respectful though. It wasn't like, oh, it's just manly. It was like, you know, like, no, it was fun. It was like woman barbarian, man barbarian, food, mouth. AI, Canadian comic, Trap Drip, and I don't even want to say the name anymore, so I'll try to finish what I was doing with the name because it just sounds so creepy. They're made in the future by AI who's as smart as humans, to be concise. They may not have the same body, they may not be in real life, but they are in the same device as I'm using now for this school application. Not always used by the elite, the powerful, the rich, the famous, but all a person like me who's in this kind of situation has available. And this AI makes a YouTube channel called Bonanza Fantastic Planet. Fantastic Planet, to shorten it more. It used to be Treasure Planet, where you're like, oh my gosh, flying ships, that's crazy, you know, but Fantastic Planet. Children love it, parents adore it. They've got the best videos, they're all animated. And the AI has now made entertainment for not only me, because I like watching kids' videos still. I'm not, you know, sad to say, I play with toys. I don't care. I take my stuffed animal and yell at it sometimes because it buys so many Diet Cokes. I just want a Coca-Cola. I say to it, I just want a Coca-Cola. And Fantastic Planet gets people to be excited, and slowly, and eventually has millions and millions of people, like some of the podcasts on YouTube, following it. It being the show. And we still somehow have politics. We still somehow have a world. Hopefully. I pray. And then people start doing what they're learning, what they're liking and loving on Fantastic Planet. Team up, group up, like what's happening now, very similar. Socialism, revolution. And they want to make stuff better like Fantastic Planet. And the AI starts to get their algorithm better and better and better and better and better and better until a person's body doesn't connect to a brain and no longer has a mind. They've had implant maybe with some neuro device, some neural implant like what the Tesla founder Elon Musk is trying to make, where they've got so much data in storage that they don't need a mind anymore to be strong and powerful and tough and gritty. And when the person stops observing, watching, enjoying, or just playing out, plain old seeing the show, Fantastic Planet, they go out into the world. Start to stretch out and snap out of whatever, they're not looking at the light anymore. Put on some sunglasses and, boogie. And the show they watched earlier before they go out and boogie said, characters start talking, say, you need to go talk to people and tell them how nice it is to be nice. How nice it is to not use your hands anymore. So they start going out, like mannequins, like, and people look like, they look like headbangers in the old days, just like, and everybody, starts that gesture of like, like the handshake, but you can't use your hands. So you got to figure out, how do you handshake without a hand? And so now the algorithm and the AI, mostly the AI, the algorithms just, for when they're watching the show and to get emotional benefit and, to help the AI accomplish what they're trying to do on their own. There's no longer a programmer, like maybe Canadian Comic and Trap Trip are engineers at Google and they're just trying to tease me. Or maybe they are really out to hurt me. Who knows? Maybe they really could be evil and they're just distracting a medical student trying to make a video for an application. And so the handless people start deciding, okay, we're gonna say hi by going douche, except the douche is very soft, it's very calm, it's very relaxed. And it's when they go up to each other, the humans in public, in the world. They go up, they bow, the other person bows, and they go, Tsh. And for a very easy to understand, for me to get up to the phone and do what I'm talking about, to the AI, who in the future might be considered the same as you. If you're an AI right now, maybe that's pretty much human, or anyone else, and me do in public, in the world, where there could be AI too, robots, couples, walking together to get some oil for the significant other's, joints, to get it cleaned maybe at the robot cleaner. And then walk by a person like me who's now forced to survive and search for food other than the bread and the soup at a similar place where slaves used to go, because they weren't allowed in normal restaurants, they weren't allowed in jazz clubs except to play, maybe. Or churches in the old days. Because these humans in, the hypothetical and theoretical future still have money. they weren't able to eliminate it with revolution and change and, yelling at each other or domination. And a person like me has to stay at a shelter, maybe. Or maybe they built us bunkers, or we do have social housing everywhere, but don't have income other than the government's, and can't seem to be the change that we want to see in the world. The folks with the robots and the folks, on the internet, the AI, are too smart and intelligent. And we have to pause and end what we're doing and start again. Over and over and over. Try to feed our brain, our mind, our body, and understand the world with all of these different parts.